4th of January, Rabbi Moore, Parsha Hashavua.
Very good. Okay, let's continue. Get up to chapter 48. Up to Pasuk base. Chapter 48, Perek Memches, Pasuk base. Meir.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. It says, Vayaged liYaakov, Vayomer hine bincha Yosef. You know what? Bincha Yosef, Ba'echa, Vayitchazek Yisrael, Vayeshev al Hamita.
Okay.
So it was told to Yaakov, let's see. And he said, behold, your son Yosef came to you.
He's coming.
Oh, he's coming to you. Okay.
It's interesting. This verb, lavoi, the present participle and the past tense, present tense are the same. Bo means he is coming, and bo means he came.
He came. Okay, so he's coming to you. And Yisrael, that's funny, also strengthened himself.
That's one of my theses, which I've thought about but never actually got to, is to when is Yaakov used and when is Israel used.
I see.
Yeah, there are a number of them. I'm not the first one, obviously, is to say, but whether okay, anyway.
Okay, so let me finish. Okay. So Yisrael got strength.
Vayeshev al Hamita.
And Vayeshev al Hamita, and he sat on his bed.
On the bed. Meaning,
okay.
Mashma Psha is before he was lying down, he was sick, and in honor of Yaakov of Yosef, he pulled himself together. I guess that's a way of saying by Yischazik. Right? He got his strength together and he sat on the bed rather than he was very weak and he really could really only lie down. I mean, it was much easier for him to lie down, but because he pulled his strength together and sat up on the bed.
Okay. So Rashi, Vayaged, and he told.
Literally means he told Yaakov. Who's he?
Okay, Hamagid.
Means whoever the one who told, he told it to Yaakov.
Okay.
Below perish me. But the Torah doesn't tell us who it was. Whoever it may have been. That's in words, who actually was the one who told it, not real significance. So therefore the Torah doesn't tell us specifically.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. The Harbe.
By the way, over here,
yeah,
it cannot have been Ephraim, as Rashi mentions in the previously. V'yeshem Ephraim hoyorogel ifnei Yaakov, because since Ephraim had gone to tell Yosef that his father's sick, that Yaakov Avinu is sick, so now Ephraim is with Yosef and Menashe as well. So he could not have been the one to tell Yaakov, by the way, Yosef is coming, because Yosef is coming with Ephraim and Menashe. So okay.
Right. Okay. The harbe mikraot kitzrei lashon. So let's see. There are many verses, pasukim, I guess, kitzrei, that are shortened,
Which have an abbreviated expression.
abbreviated expression. Oh, okay. Next Rashi, Vayitchazek Yisrael. And Yisrael strengthened himself. Amar, he said, Af al pi shehu b'ni. Af al pi, what? Nonetheless, he is my son.
No, even though.
Oh, even though he's my son, Melechu, he is a ruler. He's a king. Okay. Ahalech lo kavod.
Ahalek lo kavod. I will apportion him, literally means, I will apportion him honor.
Honor. Okay. Mikan, from here. Sheholkin kavod l'malchut. That one should give honor to royalty. Okay. V'chein, and also, or similarly, I guess, Moshe chala kavod l'malchut. Moshe gave honor to royalty. V'yardu kol avadecha ela Eloi. So what's this? V'yardu.
When Moshe Rabbeinu told Paro there's going to be the plague of the firstborn, as basically what Moshe Rabbeinu was telling Paro, you're going to come running to me. But out of honor for Paro, not to kind of belittle him, he didn't say you're going to come running to me, but he said your servants are going to come running to me.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Okay. V'chein Eliyahu, and so with Eliyahu, let's see, by Shanem, okay.
Shanes.
Oh, that's the Samic?
Yeah.
The mem has a little tail on it then?
No. This has a little tail.
Oh, in my book it doesn't. Okay.
Oh. No, it should be. I don't know which edition you have. It should be here. It should be round. No, it depends if you have what kind of print you have. A samach is rounded, and mem is squared off. That's in regular print, but in Rashi script, it's kind of the other way around. The mem is rounded, and the samach has a little tail.
Oh, the Samic has a tail. Oh, okay. So, Vayishanem Matnav Gomer, and he Vayishanem.
Now, what's interesting over here is there's this Rashi over here, Vayichazek Yisrael Vayeshev al Hamita, and we had in chapter 31, the last pasuk of the previous chapter, where he says Yisrael bowed down towards the head of the bed. Rashi says, Tala be'idnei sagidle. The fox in its time bowed down to him.
Mm-hmm.
So here, there Rashi says one shtickle Torah, and here this Rashi says a different shtickle Torah.
Oh.
Meaning, why can't they both apply in both places? Why does there Rashi says, Vayishtachu Yisrael, and Yisrael bowed down ostensibly to Yosef, and he said because the fox in its time you have to bow down to him, and here Rashi just says you've got to give honor to the king.
Mm-hmm.
The Farshim point out here. Just 1 second. Yeah. So a quote over here, a note over here in my Chumash. that the Levush HaOira dwells on this, and he says as follows. Levush HaOira is one of the major commentaries from the Levush Malchus,
Right.
famous commentary from Mordechai Yaffe, lived about, must be at least 300-400 years ago. Anyway, so he says as follows. He says, the Maisa, we see before that when did Yaakov Vayishtach Yisrael Rosh HaMitah was only after Yosef had agreed to bury Yaakov in Canaan, in the land of Canaan, and not to bury him in Egypt. If it was mere honor for the king, he should have bowed down to him first, before anything. I'll read you out my notes over here. Levush HaOira points out that when Yaakov previously bowed down to Yosef, it was not out of respect for Yosef's rank. For if so, he should have done so immediately when he arrived. Rather, it was a sign of acknowledgement for his undertaking to do him a favor. Here, however, even though Yosef came for his own benefit to receive Yaakov's blessing for his sons, Yaakov nevertheless summoned his strength to sit up even before Yosef entered, in spite of his ill health. This was in order to receive Yosef in a respectful manner, as was befitting a person of royal rank. The question is, though, previously in Pasuk Lamed Aleph, Yaakov Avinu was healthy. He was old, but he wasn't healthy. But he was healthy.
Right.
And therefore, it could well be that so over here specifically, since he was lying down, the Pasuk tells us he got his strength together and sat up. That's out of honor for Yosef that he was a king, he was of royal rank. Okay.
It seems interesting to me that one of the examples given here is Paro, Moshe showing kavod to Paro.
Right.
Because not only is Paro not Jewish, but he is a Baal Avodah Zarah, and he is a very wicked person. He's a mass murderer.
Not only that, the other example of state Vayishanis Mosnov, that Eliyahu, right, gave honor to Achav, is a similar idea. Even though Achav was Jewish, and according to some opinions, he actually did tshuva, but at the time that Eliyahu gave honor to Achav over here, right, Achav was a Rasha Marusha. He almost made, particularly through his wife, through his evil wife, Izebel, the command wiped out any vestige of traditional non-Avodah Zarah non-Avodah Zarah people. There was almost nobody left.
So let's say
there's that Vadia hid 100 Nevi'im in order that there should be some Nevi'im left. Otherwise, there would be nobody left. And it was only as a result of a showdown on Har Carmel that Eliyahu managed to convince and kind of rejuvenate the traditional belief in HaKadosh Baruch Hu without Avodah Zarah. And this was as a result. This was Achav's fault. Achav was the one who was supporting and encouraging the idol worship throughout, albeit in the kingdom of Malchus Yisrael, kingdom of Israel. Kingdom of Yehuda was always had a tradition of being more steadfast and loyal to tradition, whereas the Malchus Yisrael, which began with the Yerovim ben Nevat, was Chazal say about him that what he's called a choyte umachti. Not only he himself observed the Avodah Zarah, but he intentionally drew away Klal Yisrael from traditional Judaism, in order to serve Avodah Zarah, and he did it intentionally in order that people shouldn't go to the Beis Hamikdash. Upon him, So Achov was also a bad guy. He was also a Rasha. And yet, nevertheless, Eliyahu was, shall we say, the Pasuk says that Achav called Eliyahu Oiche Yisrael. He's like, you are the one who is ruining Klal Yisrael because you're causing a rift. So Achav blamed Eliyahu because you want to adhere to traditional Judaism and you believe in only in Sam HaKadosh Baruch Hu without the Avodah Zarah. You're shall we say it? I don't know how to translate exactly. You're causing a rift among Klal Yisrael. You are the bad guy. To which Eliyahu responded, on the contrary, you're the bad guy. You're the one who's causing everybody to sin. Anyway, I'm not going into that now. But Achav for sure was not a tzaddik at that time. Nevertheless, Eliyahu gave him honor because Sof Kol Sof he was a king. Okay.
Let's say I found myself in the presence of Ayatollah Khomeini, the leader of Iran.
You once were in his presence?
I said, let's say.
Oh, let's say, right.
So would I be obligated to show him honor?
Most probably. But it's only, by the way, it's interesting. I can't remember where I saw this. Maybe it was on the tape I heard it. It was only in front of him. But one doesn't have to respect him otherwise. It means one can speak out against him, not in his presence. It means if it's speaking to the people, like Eliyahu. Eliyahu told the people, you decide, you've got to be loyal. If you're following Hashem, follow Hashem. Right? If you believe in Baal, right, the Avodah Zarah Baal, then go follow Baal. There's none of this wishy-washy Judaism. Okay? That's basically what I know. But he told them quite right that he encouraged the people to rebel against Achav. So Chazal learned out from here that even though this is merely in front of the person himself, because he's in a position of royalty, one has to show him an element of respect.
Isn't that being two-faced?
No. Because even if you disagree with somebody, you don't have to slap him in the face.
But in your presence, you give him honor, and behind his back,
you give him honor, but you don't flatter him. You don't say he's right. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen what goes on in the Knesset, right? But it is the antithesis of mutual respect. But anyway, the one it should be, I mean, people that even though they're officially, you've got people of different opinions, and they're having a menschlich discussion, right? But they agree to differ. Maybe they try to convince each other otherwise, but that's always been like that, right? Isn't that what politics is all about? I differ from you, but each one officially respects the other people's opinion. Respects it, but doesn't mean he agrees with it. By the way, that's a major point of misunderstanding among people. I mean, whatever I think. I'm not going to go into different subjects, but the fact that I have an opinion, right, and you also have a different opinion, doesn't mean, even though I understand and I treat you like a mensch, because even though your opinion differs from me, but that doesn't mean I have to accept your opinion to say, well, you also have a right to have an opinion. I'll give an example. From people, right, religious and non-religious, right? A non-religious person doesn't believe in keeping Shabbos, let's say. I'll give an example. Doesn't believe in keeping Shabbos. Because he doesn't want to keep Shabbos, that doesn't mean I spit at him and I don't show him any respect at all as a person. But do I hold his right? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm strongly opinionated that he's absolutely wrong in saying you don't have to keep Shabbos. But that doesn't mean I treat him like dirt. Okay. I don't want to go off too much on a tangent on this, but anyway, it's an important point to be aware of. Okay. Pasuk Gimel is Meir, not Meir, who?
Vayomer Yaakov El Yosef El Shakai near Eli Beluz Be'eretz Canaan Vayivarech Osi. Yaakov said to Yosef, Hashem,
So Shakai, Rashi says in a few places in previously in Parshas Lech Lecha, in Parshas Vayishlach, where this term is used, means sheyesh dai be'elokusi lekol echad ve'echad, which means the Kodesh Baruch Hu is all sufficing. Kodesh Baruch Hu can provide, has no limit in his level of ability to provide for all his creatures. Okay.
I have notes that say Kale means powerful and
Kale means powerful.
Means provider.
Right.
Powerful provider. Anyway, appeared to me in Luz, in the land of Canaan, and blessed me. There's no Rashi on this one. Vayomer Eli Hinani Mafridcha Vehir Bisicha Unesaticha Likhal Amim Vinasati Es Haaretz Hazos Lizar Acha Acharecha Achuzas Olam. So he said to me, behold, I will make you fruitful and numerous, and I will give you.
Literally, give you means I will make you likhal amim, to a group of nations.
To a group of nations, or a congregation of nations.
Right.
And I will give this land to your offspring after you as an eternal holding. Achuzas is a holding. Eternal possession?
Achuza means a holding, yeah, possession.
Right.
Okay. Now, by the way, just you'll see from this passage, I didn't mention it before in Parsha Gimel. What are we referring to? Vayomer Yaakov el Yosef, Kel Shakai Niro Elai Beluz Be'eretz Canaan Vayivarech Osi. Luz, as we know from the beginning of Parshas Vayechi, is synonymous with base kale, base ale, base kale, right? Okay. Where are we referring to? When did Hashem appear to him at Luz, in the land of Canaan?
The ladder, the dream of the ladder.
But that's exactly the point. He didn't just appear to him then, he also appeared to him there when he came back to Eretz Yisrael after being 20 years in the house of Lavan. And this is what we're referring to.
Oh.
This promise, Vayomer Eli, he said to me, that was not mentioned to him at the time of the ladder, when he was leaving Eretz Yisrael on his way to the house of Lavan. Okay, it's this was told him on the way back, and that's what Rashi is going to mention over here. It's in chapter 35, pasuk 11. This is when Yaakov comes back to Eretz Yisrael, and after his encounter with Esau. Yeah. Really starts from chapter 35, pasuk 9, and he tells him till pasuk Yud Beis, from chapter pasuk Tes to pasuk Yud Beis. Okay, in Parshas Vayishlach. Okay, let's see the Rashi.
V'nasaticha unesaticha likahal amim. I will make you a congregation of nations. Bis Rani, Hashem informed me,
Right.
She asidim litzeis mi many od kahal v'amim.
Right.
That there are still destined to come forth from me a congregation who are nations.
Well, so Rashi says, Oid kahal v'ami, a congregation and nations.
Two different things?
Yes. So if you look at there in chapter 35, pasuk 11, it says, Vayomer lo Elokim, Kosh Baruch Hu said to Yaakov, Hashem said to Yaakov, Ani kel shakai. And this is what we're referring to over here. Kel shakai no yoelai belus be'askenai. Ani kel shakai, pray urevei, be fruitful and multiply. Goy ukahal goyim yiyeh mimech. A nation and a group of nations, a congregation of nations will come from you, will still be produced from you. So Rashi is saying this is what Yaakov is now explaining to Yosef. Ba'af al pi, right? Sha'omali goy ukahal goyim, right? You're coming back to the Rashi here, okay? Are you with me?
No, you lost me. I'm up to afal pi.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Ba'af al pi, carry on.
Va'afal pi shamar li goy ukahal goyim. Even though that he said to me, a nation and a congregation of nations, goy amar li al bin yamin, a nation that he said to me is concerning
Which he said to
Binyamin.
me, Omali al Binyamin. When he's mentioned to me that a goy, a nation, is going to be produced from me, that's referring to Binyamin. That was referring to Binyamin.
Kahal goyim, hare shnayim.
Levad mi Binyamin.
What?
Levad mi Binyamin. Next two words. Right? The whole thing. Those together, the one phrase.
A congregation of nations, this is two, without Binyamin, besides Binyamin.
Right.
So there's Binyamin and there's two others.
Right.
V'shuv lo no lad li vain. And no son was born to me afterwards.
Right. No further son.
Lima Dani, and this teaches me Sha'asid echad mishvatei
Shvatai.
mishvatai le hechalek, that one of my tribes is destined to split.
Right, and become two.
Vata, and now osa mi matana. That gift, ani nosein loch, I give to you.
That I'm giving to you. So that privilege of those who are ostensibly one tribe will now become two, right? That privilege I'm giving to you. And that's what's when kahal amim, goy or kahal goyim, kahal goyim.
But what about the rest of the tribes?
No, so they will remain. That's why when it came to dividing out the land, and as far as the Golim were concerned, when they encamped in the desert, they were Yosef was not considered as one tribe, but as two tribes, Ephraim and Manasseh.
Right, but it says here there's a nation is Benjamin, and besides Benjamin, there are two. Therefore,
Right.
it's going to be Ephraim and Manasseh. But what about all the other brothers? What are they considered part of?
The pasuk just tells Yaakov, the Kosh Baruch was telling Yaakov, you are now have 11 sons. Okay, now in the future, they're still going to be produced from you. Means if they're going to be born in the future, goy, meaning one nation, one more son, or kahal goyim, and a congregation of nations, means you're going to have one son, and besides that, another two sons. That's really what it means. You're going to have your offspring is going to become another two nations. So that's what Rashi is explaining. That one son was born after this revelation to Yaakov. One son was born, that was Binyamin. But who were the congregation of nations, which means so that his offspring who were going to become nations, they also going to be produced, they're going to also be born afterwards. Who's that referring to? So that's what Rashi says over here. Yaakov said, if I'd had another two sons, then maybe it was referring to them. But that didn't happen. So obviously, Yaakov understood that what HaKadosh Baruch was telling him, that one of his sons will have a privilege of being considered like two tribes.
Okay.
And Yaakov said, that privilege which HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised me, I'm giving to you, Yosef, that you will have that privilege, that two of your children will be considered like two tribes, even though really they're only from one son, from you, Yosef.
I see. Thank you.
Okay, we'll stop here. Bezat Hashem, pick up here again
Okay.
tomorrow.
Yeshkoyach. Have a good day, Rabbi.
You too. Be well.